Hey everybody, my name is Samus from CHROMA, and this is CHROMA Knows Logos and Visual Identification. Having a good logo and visual identification is really awesome for you as an artist or a promoter. It really helps you stand out if you take the time to really think about it and really make sure that you stand out. Different types of logos. So there's two different types of logos. There's the logo type and the logo mark. A logo type is usually the name fully written out, as you can say here with the CHROMA logo. It's using type, it's fully written out. A logo mark is a shorthand version of the full logo type, usually like a symbol or an icon. An example I can use within an electronic music scene is Zed. Zed's logo type is his full name, Z-E-D-D, but he also has a logo mark, which is just a Z that's stylized, and you know that that's his logo, but shortened. Having both different types of logos is helpful because you can use it in many different ways. For example, merchandise. If you can't put the whole logo type on there, you can just have the mark or save your visuals. I have videos about merchandise and a whole video about visuals, what to expect. When getting a logo created by a designer, there are two different file types that you should make sure that you get, and you should know what they are. There are vector files, and then there's bitmap files. Vector files come in the format of .ai, .eps, and sometimes in .pdf files. Vector files are mathematical based. They can be blown up to the size of a building or even bigger, or as small as a keychain, but it's more of, think of like CAD. Think of a mathematical way. It keeps things really crisp. The reason why you should have these files is because if you do want to blow it up the size of a building, so it's for a banner, but usually they're required for merchandise companies. If you want to get some custom logo animations like CGI, vectors are the only way to go. And any kind of printing, they're the native version of your logo. The other version is bitmap. Bitmap files usually come in the form of .png, .jpeg, .gif. They are pixel-based images. So when you do zoom in or blow them up, they start to lose quality. They become more pixelated. If you're wondering why would you ever have a bitmap over vector, is because there's a lot more that you can do with bitmap than you can with vector. You can do a lot of things like outer glows and effects and digitally make them really appealing. Maybe think of vector as for business use and the bitmap for creative use, but you could use it for both. When getting your files from the designer who creates your logo, not only getting the vector or bitmap files, I would suggest that you get a one color version, a black and white version, and a full color version. This covers everything you might need to do. Just to recap, when you get a designer to create your logo, ask them to create a logo type, a logo mark, get your files in vector and in bitmap, ask for a one color, black and white version, and a full color version. VIDs. VID is short for visual identification. These usually come in the form of a PDF or a website. It's basically just a information package about how to use your assets, like your logos, the fonts that you'd like to use, your photography, how to use those appropriately so that you can have quality control over your brand as an artist or your company or your event. Some things that I would include inside of your vid are color usage, which you would give them hex code, CMYK codes, RGB codes. That's a little bit more complex. I'm going to get into this video, or this video will be long as hell. The fonts that you'd like them to use. I would include logo restrictions on how to use it to make sure that your logo isn't stretched, smushed, or change in any way that you don't approve. A little extra that I like to include within my artist visual identification packages is guidelines for live performances. Some artists don't like to be filmed or have camera people in front of them while they're playing. This is a really good place to kind of lay that out so that people know. These are just some of the basics I wanted to cover today. One little extra that I wanted to put in, but I didn't know where to really put it. Over the years of me working within the music industry, I have found out that artists that use the least amount of letters in their name, for example, Aoki, Zed, Diplo, have a lot more weight. The shorter amount of letters gives you more visual weight because you can be bigger on the frame. Opposite of Diplo, Aoki, and Zed in those short letters is someone like Tiesto, where his logo is super stretched and long, and so it depending on the sizing you have, it can get really small. There is a theory when it comes to design and visual weight. You want to grab attention. A funny example of this is an artist, a heavy metal band called Party Cannon. If you know heavy metal bands, a lot of their logos look a lot of the same, but they decided to switch it up, do bright, bubbly, colorful letters. It completely stood out. I suggest that you think like Party Cannon and think outside the box. Thank you again for watching another CHROMA Knows video. This was CHROMA Knows logos and visual identification. If you'd like to know more, we have a ton of other videos. They're all free for you because we care. We want to give you the power of knowledge so that you can be the best artist or company that you can be within this music industry. You can check out the videos at chromaknows.com, all the social medias at CHROMA Knows. We're really pushing our Discord server. You can check out the link below, and we'd love for you to join. Thanks again, and until next time, bye, 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 bye. No, not doing that.